And Amanda, you and I both remember what happened when David Stephan was convicted of failing to provide the necessities of life after his 19-month-old son, Ezekiel, died from bacterial meningitis. He was found guilty back in 2016. David, you waited until your son was too stiff to move. Most doctors say that he had the signs, whether it's meningitis or not. The point is, you were giving him your remedies and not using scientific medicine, and your son died. And that is neglect. Why did you not take him to a doctor sooner?
Where are you getting your information from? Because
well, you were convicted. That's where you were convicted in your son's death.
Okay, no.
Reading from the court documents, your son is 19 months old.
That is not from
David,
court documents.
David,
Do not lie.
your son. Don't call me a liar. You're convicted in the death of your 19-month-old son.
And Alberta dad will go to jail. It's house arrest for a mother convicted in the death of their toddler.
With the death of their toddler son.
David Stephan was convicted of his son's death.
Being convicted in the death of his son.
Guilty in the death of their young son.
And found guilty in the death of their young son.
Convicted in the death of their 19-month-old son.
Now, he ruled the parents' actions didn't cause Ezekiel's death.
Justice Durkee did not find that Mr. and Mrs. Stephan caused Ezekiel to die.
It wasn't just the verdict that they lied about. They lied about the maple syrup. They lied about the car seat stiffness. They lied about him being sick for weeks on end. They lied about everything.
They shunned traditional medicine, instead treating him with garlic, onions, horseradish, as well as he lay ill for weeks.
So Colette's friend Terry Minders comes in. She's an ER nurse, and she checks on Ezekiel. And what she testifies of in court is that there was nothing obvious to her. There was nothing. There was no snotty nose, there was no congestion that she could hear, there was nothing abnormal in his breathing or his behavior. And this was one day before Ezekiel entered the hospital. Fast forward almost 2 years, and these dirtbags are still stalking him and his wife. And the way they're going about it is inhumanely brutal.
Stephan was booked as a featured speaker at the Health and Wellness Expo.
So late last night we packed him up and we sent him out, and he's canceled from all of our tours in the country.
But Amanda, I know we're up against the clock. Would anyone go and see this guy? A lot of people are saying yes.
That's my concern. It's not about him. It's that people will listen to him and believe that you don't need modern medicine.
Why would people listen to this guy who's selling products that don't work? They're not scientifically tested.
34 medical journal publications.
And just a second.
Publications.
Here's a guy selling material where he can't even care for his own child.
Not only were his products scientifically tested, but it was well documented by the same media groups who were calling it snake oil.
Province of Alberta, when they heard about the effect that Empower Plus was having on Albertans, they said, why don't we look into this? There's huge costs associated with it. And Mr. Speaker, they set up a $544,000 study.
TrueHope.com is the website for a Canadian company. They sell a pill called Empower Plus.
A medication called True Hope.
True Hope Nutritional Support on a supplement called True Hope.
True Hope Nutritional Support.
The supplement, now called Empower.
Thousands of people around the world are already using Empower 18 Plus. True Hope claims it supports mental and emotional well-being, and research shows it works.
Dr. Kaplan and her team already knew the supplement worked on adults.
Researchers are still studying the supplement. The Harvard Medical School is now on board.
The patients in this sample got much better.
We decided to try it, and it worked.
A doctor at Harvard found Empower Plus helped 19 out of 22 patients with bipolar disorder. And a research team at the University of Calgary also found the supplement has, quote, a beneficial psychotropic effect. Then they took the supplements away. The mood swings came back.
And in all cases, we showed a statistically and clinically significant improvement with the supplement. Quite a few of them were more than 75% better.
Researchers in Calgary monitored 350 people with bipolar disorder who took the supplement daily for 6 months.
Even after 5 days on the supplement, Joe felt better.
I'm such a better person when I'm happy.
This has brought me to recognize a new me.
8 years later, Lou says the product saved her life.
The decrease in their symptoms is of a magnitude that is very impressive. Any medication that ever had this effect would catch a lot of people's attention.
And we're thinking to ourselves, the media couldn't possibly be any dirtier. And then we find this email between these two officers. And the one describes to the other how these reporters have been feeding him information. And the information is bad. These reporters are trying to influence the investigation by feeding the police false information.
True Hope Nutritional Support. The Alberta company makes a supplement to help people with mental disorders. The judge found them not guilty by reason of necessity.
It wasn't just the media in this case that were dirty. Some of the other things just didn't add up. The police, the CPS people at the hospital, the doctor that's in charge of investigating abuses, they all said that there wasn't any need for charges. So when the RCMP came out with charges, we were a little confused. And what had happened is they had turned the file over to the Raymond RCMP, which is odd because David didn't live there. It's not where Ezekiel got sick. He didn't stop breathing there. The RCMP in Raymond are where David's workplace is. That's where his office is. So, of course, the charges lead to the trial. The trial's a mess. That was publicized all over the news. And what ends up happening is he's found guilty. And we appeal it, and we lose. So then we hire this investigative team to dig in and figure out what went wrong. And what they found was that the RCMP in Raymond had selectively picked through the medical files to get the ones they wanted for a conviction. So after the verdict, we go out and we get our own copy of the information because nothing lined up. And what we find is that we get 623 pages of medical records, and they only delivered 453. The 453 pages that were used in court would tell a very different story than the ones that they had left out. So we start to think, what are these guys hiding? Well, long story short, we know how he died. And I'm going to say this, there is no place on God's green earth where these people who did this are going to be able to hide from the truth.
David and Colette Stephan arrived at court hand in hand with their 3 children. The couple are now living in a trailer parked in a farmyard. Colette told court they have sold virtually everything of value and used up all of their savings to pay their legal expenses. Colette described the trial as absolute torture, that she was forced to relive the most horrible day that ever happened in their lives.
What you see today is a parent who is attempting to protect his other 4 children and his wife from the mistruths that keep on coming out and from the lies that took place within the court system where they tried to cover up the fact.
That same court.